All right, so today we're talking about interesting information that you can share on your Facebook page. So what I've done is I've got the social media planners here with me. We're going to talk a little bit more about those, and I'm going to take you to Pinterest, and I'm going to help you find some interesting content that you can share that's going to be relevant to your audience. So when we talk about audience in terms of your Facebook page, let's just focus on Facebook. Because right now, obviously, more people than ever before are using Facebook as a platform. They're coming there because obviously they're stuck at home, they've got more time on their hands, but they are also using it to stay connected to obviously friends and family and what's happening in the world right now because they can't get out and about. So what I want to do is help you find some content that is going to create engagement and interaction on your page. So I did a video a little while ago about social media planning, and I talked you through some ways on how you can become, more efficient, I suppose, at getting social media content posted every day on your page. Because when we think about our pages, we have to stay focused on the engagement and the consistency, and this is where I suppose you remain relevant to the people who do currently follow your page, and you build a larger audience. The thing with Facebook is that if you don't post often or regularly, it sees you as being inactive. Right now, when I share something on Facebook, and regardless of the number of followers that I have, and I want you to completely forget about the number of followers you have right now. What I want you to do is focus on the interaction and engagement. So when I share a post, I know that post is only going to be seen by around 3% of my audience, if I'm lucky. That's it. Whether or not people find what I share, those 3% of people, whether or not they find that content interesting or something that they like, and they hit either the like, love, wow button or whatever it is, or they share it or they comment on it, depending on that is whether or not more people that follow me see that. So because at the moment there are more people, and I'm talking over 2 billion active users every single month on Facebook, it is impossible for, say, from me, for example, or you, and when you think about all the groups that you're a member of, think about all the pages that you follow and how many friends you have right now on Facebook, it is impossible for you to see everything that is being shared by your friends, the pages, the groups, and whatever else it is that you follow or do on Facebook. So Facebook bases its algorithm on engagement and interaction and consistency. So it's only going to show the people that are following you, that are that are regular engagers. It's only going to show the content if you are consistently sharing and posting, because there is so many pages, there are so many people, there are so many groups. It basically is, it really truly is quite random. But obviously, Facebook is a business, and we know for a fact when you invest money in advertising on Facebook, obviously it broadens your reach, so you get more engagement because it's putting your post or whatever it is that you're sharing on Facebook, it's putting that in front of more people because you are paying it to. We understand that, we get it. I'm not going to go too much into that, but what you can do to get organic reach is to share information and content on a regular basis, and I mean daily. And you can schedule it. If you can't allocate a day, an hour every single day to sharing content on your social media pages, you can schedule it so that it posts at a certain time on whatever day that you specify. So what I want to share with you today is just some ideas on how you can find content that is going to create organic engagement and reaction. So if you want to know more about that social media planning, please go back and rewatch that video if you've seen it before, because you don't always, take everything in right there and then. But if you haven't seen it, please watch that as well, because it's got a lot of valuable information on how you can build content for social media based on the planner, and work out who your target audience is, which is really important. We have a rule in the group right here that basically says, do not share your Facebook page. And I delete like ladders straight away. And the reason behind that is, if you don't sell a product or service to other photographers, you shouldn't be asking them to follow your page. The people that you need to follow your page are people that you want to book you as a photographer, potentially hire you to capture the photographs that they're going to pay you for. So it's really important that you understand that when you think about your Facebook page in terms of followers, it's not about quantity, it is about quality. If you have a small number of people that follow you, and think about it, you sit down with a pen and paper, how many photo sessions can you physically do in a year? I know when I'm working as a photographer full-time, I only want to shoot 3 times a week, 42 weeks of the year. That's 126 sessions. So really, to get 126 sessions every year, I don't need a large following on Facebook. I'm not using Facebook for instant gratification to know that I'm a good photographer. I am using Facebook in a way to engage with my followers, to share what it is that I provide in terms of a service and products, so that I can book more people. I remind current clients to come back, to update their photos. I engage with current clients because they are often surrounding themselves with people who are going through similar situations. Pregnant women know pregnant women. People with small children tend to surround themselves with people of similar interests, which is other families with small children. And you will realize that obviously as you go through your life. Like right now, I've got a lot of my friends have kids the same age. So, and it's who you choose to surround yourself with throughout, obviously, your different milestones in terms of your lifetime. Okay, so when we think about the different things to share on Facebook, you've got 7 days in a week. So you want to use your planners in a way to create a list of things that you can share, and you can do the same thing every day of the week. So for example, I'm going to list 7 different topics of things that you can share over 7 days. So you've got products, and that could be your products. So one day you might share a photograph of a beautiful album and talk about your album. The next day you might photograph a beautiful framed picture or a print on the wall. And you know what, if you've sold products previously to other clients, reach out to them and say, hey, I'd love to know where you have hung that wall art in your home. If you could possibly take a photo of it, can you send that to me? Share that on your social media pages as well. So talk about the products that you sell and the quality of those products and why you love them so much. The next one is behind the scenes. So this might be if you work with someone, an assistant, and they've previously taken photos of you working, create a folder in your media library, which we've talked about in previous videos that I've done right here in the group. Create a folder in there of behind the scenes photos that previous clients have tagged you in. Save that photo, pop it into your media library. And also, you know what is another great thing to do? If you can't get someone in your studio when you start working again, set up a phone on a stand and put it on time lapse and let it take a photograph of you throughout a shoot. Put it in a very discreet place and do time lapse videos, do photographs, things like that, and share those so that people can identify what it is that you do, who you are as a photographer, and obviously create a connection with you that builds trust as a potential client. The other type of behind the scenes might be new props, which is what you can do right now, how to photograph some new setups, anything that you've made. I see a lot of you creating beautiful little onesies and hats and things off the patterns that we've shared on newbornposing.com. you're sharing photos in the group, photograph them beautifully in your studio with, beautiful light and with some matching blankets and things like that, and say, whilst, we're in isolation, I've been creating lots of new little outfits that I can't wait to start using when I get, when I get you clients back in the studio, so forth. So that's another idea right there. And then you've got pretty pictures, and we're talking about a beautiful photograph that you've taken of a baby, of a maternity client, of a child, of a family portrait, of anything that you photograph right now. I've seen a lot of people doing, photos of their kids. Share that on your page as well. Talk about it, tell a story, always be human and be genuine. And don't overthink what it is that you're writing. So make the message very clear, very simple. And then the other day we did another video on how to create beautiful videos that you can share using Animoto. So platforms like that, programs, other ways for you to be able to create slideshows with previous photos, things like that, is going to be another great way to share content. So videos, remember, they are gold in terms of engagement, and they are everywhere right now across all social media platforms. Okay, so then the next one is articles, information or products. So this could be what I'm going to share with you today. We're going to look at different things that pregnant women or women who have just had babies or families could be interested in. So it's valuable information that you have found somewhere else on the internet that you can then share to your page, and obviously tag that website and things like that. So we'll go into that a little bit more detail shortly. And then blog posts. We've talked a lot about blogging and how valuable that is to your business. You should be blogging once a week. You can find when the newbornposing.com website is back up after its maintenance right now, after its facelift. In our blog section, there is a blog post on there with over 22, or I think it's 22 ideas on what to blog about. So write a blog about anything. Write a blog about your experience during this time and how you have stayed motivated. And make sure that when you are blogging that you're thinking about all the different ways that you can improve your SEO in terms of the keywords, tag words, and all of that. All right, someone said they're pushing me to get creative. Absolutely. All right, the last one here is inspirational quotes. Something that's really beautiful and thoughtful, so that you can bring it back to that level of understanding of what parents must be going through when they are expecting or have just had a baby. This is your target market. You are creating content that is going to be of interest. This is probably the most important sentence right now. You are going to share and create content that is going to be of interest to pregnant women and women who have just had babies. So this is how we build a client base, and we continue to get our current clients back for their second baby, their third baby, and then their family portraits. So I want you to think about all of those things right there.
We've got a question from Mandy Waters. I have trouble selling myself, so talking about myself and my products I find incredibly hard. Is there anyone who can give some tips, please?
Okay, when it comes to selling yourself, do you know what? This is probably one of the hardest things most people have to overcome, right? Think about it this way. There's a reason you picked up a camera. There's a reason that you want to take photographs for your clients. So I want you to think about that. I want you to actually sit down with a pen and piece of paper or a laptop or whatever it is, and I want you to write down why you love taking photographs. What is it that you love the most? Think about your clients. What is it that you love the most about creating photographs for your clients? Okay, then I want you to think from a business perspective. If you don't share information about your products and services, are you going to get clients in the door? Because if you're too focused on what if people don't like me, or that sounds stupid, or I don't know if I'm good enough. If you focus on all of those things, you won't get clients in the door. You won't engage with an online audience. What you need to focus in on is what it is that you do in terms of a product and service and why you do it. And when you come from that place, it doesn't matter what people think. And I can tell you right now, I have zero problem with selling myself, and I used to have a problem with it because I used to doubt myself. But you know what? It was only because I was afraid of what other people might think. So then when I changed my mindset and I came back to, I really don't care what other people think anymore. Do you know why? Because it's my business. So right now I mind my own business. I focus on my business, I put my blinkers on, and I stop worrying about what every single other person out there is doing. And I focus on what it is that I do as a photographer in terms of the product and the service that I provide and why I do it. And I come from that place of love and passion, and I share that. I'm not interested in what other photographers think of me. I'm not interested in what my friends and family think of my business. It's not for them. I changed my mindset, I got out of my own way, and I stopped doubting myself because I truly love what it is that I do as a photographer and the beautiful photographs that I know mean something to my clients. So stop worrying about not selling yourself. Sit down, write it out. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Focus on your strengths. Stop worrying about what other people think and put your work out there. It is so important to focus on that. Someone's just said, mind your own business. It's what it's about. You are in business if you are receiving money for a product and service. So it's time to start minding your own business. And you know what? If other people don't like it, who cares? It's none of their business what you do for your clients. Focus on creating content that you are going to share with the people who matter to your bottom line. When we talk about a successful business, we talk about an income. You want to be a photographer and you want to operate on a business level and provide an exceptional product and service, you are going to receive money in exchange for that. Then you are going to talk about running a successful business and what that means to you. I know that my photography business, it contributed to my household income for many years before my husband came on board and joined me in the business when he worked elsewhere as well. So, stop worrying about what everyone else thinks. Focus on all of those positives and you are going to be just fine. All right, I don't know what's got into me today.
Oh, you're passionate.
I am so passionate.
But in all of that passion, there are some amazing comments coming through.
Fantastic.
I think a lot of people needed to hear this right now because I think the minding your own business is a hard thing for a lot of people to do. Worrying about the photographer down the road and that sort of thing. But
it's no one else's business what you are doing for your clients. So for me, when it comes, I've never paid for likes on my Facebook page. I have never asked other photographers to like my page. I don't promote my business or my photography in other groups unless, of course, someone tags me in something or, I feel that what it is that I'm sharing is obviously important, but I've always focused on what I'm doing and I've never used anyone else to increase my following or anything like that. I've relied heavily on the clients that I currently have because when you think about your perfect ideal customer, who they are, what are their interests, where are they located, and why do they need your services, who are they, that when you answer all of those questions, then you're going to find that perfect client and you will find that they're all quite close and they are all within a certain area and you're going to be able to really hone in on who they are and putting the right content in front of them and engaging with them. That's what it comes down to.
I've got a question here from Kayla. If you have multiple interests in photography, such as newborn, maternity, and also commercial, would you suggest having 2 social media accounts, one for newborn and one for commercial?
No, absolutely not, because you don't know if your commercial client is going to have a baby or knows someone who's just had a baby. You don't know if your newborn client might need some personal branding photos later on. You don't know what type of business that they're in. When a couple come in with their brand new baby, have a conversation. What else do they do? You might then be able to engage with them on a different level and offer your services in other ways for them with different genres. Keep it all together, I say. On your website, you want to break it down in terms of a portfolio with all the different genres so people can go to that specific God, where's my brain gone now? Portfolio to see exactly what it is that they're looking for. So make it nice and clean. But in terms of how you create content to share on your social media page, you might be looking at mixing it up each day, or sharing, multiple times a day, the different content. So you might do in the morning something that's newborn or maternity related, and then in the afternoon you might focus more on your commercial clients in terms of sharing, or you might just sort of map it out each day. But this brings me to these planners, and we did do a whole class on this. So this one right here, it might be a little bit hard for you to see, but this is your yearly planner, and on there are a lot of different ideas on the different calendar events that happen throughout the year, like your back to school, your Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, summer, Christmas, Black Friday, Halloween, Father's Day, Mother's Day. So you need to be aware of all of those different calendar events so that you can create content that's going to be relevant to what's coming up within your business. And then you've got your monthly planner, and this is where you can start to break down what it is that you're going to share throughout the month and on what days. So you might break it down. So for example, on one of these, hang on, let's get it here so I can hold it a little bit better so it stays stiff. So on Sunday here, so let's just say that this is the 1st of May, you might share a post on Facebook about products. And then on Monday, you might do a behind the scenes. On Tuesday, on the 3rd of May, you might share a pretty picture of a baby that you've taken recently. And right now, obviously, you're not shooting, so go back through all your hard drives, re-edit some older photos, bring up, do Thursdays. It's a perfect day for Throwback Thursday in terms of old content and things like that. You might then share, for example, a blog post. You might do an interesting article that is going to be relevant to your audience. And then down here, you might share an inspirational quote. So you need to sit with a pen and paper and map out what you're going to do each day. So when you get up and you've dedicated time between, let's just say 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. to do your Facebook posting, bringing it up. Garrett's like, I can't see it. Then you can be very prepared and start planning, and in your media library, then you can start to create folders filled with all of the different things that you're going to share on the different days. So you know where to go and get it, and it's nice and quick and easy. And then on your weekly planner, this is where you're going to break it down, and you're going to be even more prepared. Right, this week I'm going to be really focused on between 10 and 11, this is when I'm going to Facebook post. And you know what? Then in the afternoon, you might even do Instagram at the same time. We tend to break it up here a little bit, so it's not, because we do have similar followers on all the different social media platforms, so we make sure that they're not seeing the same thing on multiple platforms. But this is where you need to break it down so that you are planning your day and getting it done. Because if you are not dedicating time and allocating time for the different tasks to be consistently sharing, then you won't get it done because you'll just put it off. What you'll do is you'll say, oh, I'll do it later. Oh, I forgot to do that. You need routine, and you need to stay organized and focused on keeping up a consistent engagement level on your different social media platforms. All right, so the whole idea and purpose behind today's live is to show you some different things that you can share. So before I talked about who your ideal client is, pregnant women aged around 30, if you go to the statistics, the Bureau of Statistics, on the internet, you can actually have a look at how many babies were born in your city, the average age of women giving birth, what suburbs they're located in, and what hospitals they're going to. All right, so when we think about those people, what are some of the things that they are looking for right now? You would think if you've got children of your own, think about the time when you were pregnant with your very first baby. You've got to set up a nursery for the first time. You've got to buy everything, you know, to welcome a new baby into your home. If you've never been pregnant before, these women are going to be wondering how big their baby is at different stages of their pregnancy. So you can share different things in terms of the baby's growth. After they've had a baby, obviously in the first 12 months, a baby is going to have different levels of, I suppose, milestones. Like at 1 month, they're going to be doing this. At 2 months, this is when they're going to start smiling and gooing, and, you know, and at 3 months, they're going to be a little bit more boisterous. They'll start to hold their head up, things like that. You can share all of that information. Okay, when we go to places like Pinterest, and I've got my Pinterest page up here, we obviously share a lot of information on Pinterest. We find that it's probably one of our favorite platforms, and it is a place where a lot of women spend their time, and they come here looking for information. So let's go to pregnancy to start with. So when you type in pregnancy, look at all of the different things that you could be sharing. You know, a week by week, a pregnancy guide. You don't just want to share it because it looks pretty. Go in, read the articles, and make sure it is of valuable interest, that your clients, potential clients, are going to get something from it. Share information that's going to be helpful to them. Share new products, things like, look, pregnancy hacks, ways to get comfortable, exercises for pregnant women, how to stay fit during your pregnancy. And you can bring it back to you and say, if you've had babies yourself, you know, during my pregnancy, I always struggled to keep the weight off. That was me personally. I'm just giving you an idea. And, you know, and I know that there are going to be a lot of pregnant women out there experiencing the same things that I went through, and I just came across these amazing exercises that you can do at home right now without having to join a gym or go anywhere. Things like that, different meals, exercises, products, you know, 14 must-have products to thrive in your second trimester. So start doing a little bit of research about what you can share for pregnant women. Down the bottom here, you've got a pregnancy weeks calendar. You know, the different trimesters and things like that. There was another one I saw. Here we go. How big the baby is, stages of development. Right now, if you are 3 months pregnant, you know, or you're at this week, then, you know, you're going to be able to share that. Here we go. What you need to stockpile before your baby arrives. I think this one is absolutely gold. And sharing content like that. And then when you click on these articles, they're going to take you to a website, and this is where you're going to share that information from. You're not going to share it back to Pinterest. So here we go, a silver-lined life, preparing for baby. Let's click rid of that. What you need to stockpile before your baby arrives. I thought you were going to interrupt me then. No. Sorry, Garrett.
I was just adjusting.
So that's where you would share articles like that from. All right, so let's go back over here. Now let's type in nurseries. Baby nursery.
There was a comment earlier on about this week being Fertility Week. And if anyone was sharing anything, like those sorts of smaller, not smaller, but, you know, not you know, Christmas or Easter or that sort of thing, those sort of calendar events are always good.
Absolutely. I love all of that stuff. Here we go. I've typed in baby nursery. I can't tell you how exciting it is setting up a nursery for the very first time. I was 36 weeks pregnant when Robert and I, with our first baby, when Robert and I moved from Townsville to Brisbane, and that's like a 16-hour drive. And I was 36 weeks pregnant, and I had literally 4 weeks to paint. We'd bought a house to paint a bedroom and set a nursery up. And I can't tell you how stressful that was, but how exciting it was at the same time. But I can tell you, when you come to Pinterest, like, this makes me clucky. If I was 10 years younger, I would seriously be thinking about having another baby. Don't listen, Robert. But when you go through some of the ideas, this is where, if you're going to share things like that, you know, on your Facebook page, you know, I know a lot of my followers right now are getting very excited about welcoming their newest baby. And if you're in the process of setting up a nursery, I just came across, you know, this checklist and I thought, what a great idea to share here on my page. That's how you can write. So when you talk about selling yourself, just come from the place of being helpful and providing content that's going to be of value to your clients, potential clients. So one thing that grabbed my attention this morning was there's a lot of different styles here. So, you know, you've got your sort of pinks and things like that. You've got your neutral boys with grays. You've got animal themes. You've got a lot of really beautiful different themes going on here. So as I scroll down, I'm like, what grabs my attention the most? And when I think about my current style, the way that I photograph in the studio, I want to share things on my page that are going to be consistent with my brand. So, for example, this one here really stands out. I photograph a lot of rich, beautiful tones, and it's got golds, it's got greens. I love all of these beautiful tones. But do you know what really has grabbed my eye here, not just the overall picture because the styling's gorgeous, is the beautiful prints on the wall. So you could share a post on where people could find beautiful artwork for their nursery walls, things like that. So whatever it is that you want to share is going to be really inspirational and really quite, like, look at all of these. I mean, wow. I'm getting carried away here now.
While you're getting carried away there, so as far as the articles that you do find, Julie asks, do we copy and share the link to the article on our pages?
Okay, so, oh my goodness, look at that.
And then follow on from that.
This is just stunning. Honestly, FrenchieFancy.com, right? I'm just going to click on their page because this has really grabbed my attention. The colours, the styling, it is absolutely gorgeous. So it's just taking me to another photograph here. It's not really doing much else. So what you could do is share that photograph. You could save that photograph and then find FrenchieFancy.com on Facebook and tag their Facebook page and say, I just came across, and put their web link and everything in there so that you're not obviously taking someone else's content and sharing it. You are paying credit to the person that's in there. So I wouldn't, you know, always save photos. Oh my good Lord. This is insane. I've seriously not ever done this. I mean, and good, this wasn't even a thing when I had babies. I'm just getting carried away, honestly.
As far as the where to post, so Kiki asks, where do you suggest we share this information?
On your Facebook page.
IG, stories?
We're talking about Facebook today.
Perfect.
I am talking about social media platforms, but we're talking about ideas of what you can share on Facebook that is going to create engagement. So sharing on your Facebook page. So let's just say, for example, I want to click on one more of these that I'm absolutely loving here. So let's just go back and let's grab something that's going to have a little bit of content. So I'm just scrolling. You know, you might dedicate an hour a day to doing research into content, or you might dedicate 2 hours once a week to finding links and content that you can share. So dedicate that time and then put it away. Create a spreadsheet, an Excel spreadsheet that you can add to with a date of when you are going to share different bits and pieces of content. And there's lots of DIY hacks as well. But yeah, there's so many different things here and different ways for people to, you know, present their photographs and ideas. This is going to get you inspired. And a changing basket. You know what? A brand new changing basket. Click on the link. This is what they're selling. So this is a product. So you might go, okay, let's click on Australia. That's where I'm located. Click on your region. Okay, you might want to share this product on your page and go, I wish they'd had these when I was having babies. If you've got older children, right? Click on the link, Command-C, copy, and this is where you go to your Facebook page. Oh, what just happened? Let's go over here. Come on, Facebook. All right, so this is where you're going to come to your Facebook page and you're going to type in here, share this link, and it's going to come up with obviously some images that you can share as well. It should do, it shouldn't come up with that photo, that's a bit silly. But anyway, it will come up with that particular photo. We noticed that Facebook was doing this the other day. But yeah, come in, and then obviously if you are not getting that photo to load, you know, grab one of the photos, but just make sure that you are linking back to their website so that you're not obviously stealing content, and even grab a little bit of the information that describes the basket and where it can be purchased from. Do a little bit of a write-up, and this is just an example. I'm not telling you to go and obviously share this as a product, but just make sure obviously that you are going to, you know, include lots of information there.
So for those who might have missed the first part of this, as far as, you know, setting up your schedule and that sort of thing, this sort of content, how often would you recommend posting this so you don't lose the focus from your work and what it is that you do?
Probably once a week. And that's where I went through at the very, very beginning of this. You know, I listed products that you provide. So photograph your products beautifully. We've done a video on that. You can find those videos under the videos tab or in announcements. Behind the scenes shots. Once a week, share something that's behind the scenes, and that could be you working, it could be a pullback, it could be a moment that you capture after a mum's just fed her baby. Like, it could be a pullback of your studio right now. It could be a setup. Pretty pictures, share those once or twice a week. It could be a promo video that you create using your pretty pictures, using a platform like Animoto. We did a video on that the other day. Articles, which is what we're going through right now. This is about finding information. So I recommend sharing an article, sharing information, whether it be pregnancy information, what to expect, how to, you know, a checklist on what you might need for your nursery. And you've got to think about sharing content once a week that's going to be relevant to someone who's just found out that they're pregnant, someone that's trying to get pregnant, someone that might be 3 months pregnant, 6 months pregnant, or just about to give birth. It could be somebody who has literally given birth and they've come across you because, I don't know about you, but the amount of people that contact us when they've just had their baby, because throughout their pregnancy they didn't think to book a photographer. And it's when they give birth and they can't take their eyes off their baby and they don't want to miss a moment, and they're still, you know, they're up late, they're feeding, they've got all, you know, this time, they're on the internet, and then they start to see beautiful photos, and then they go, oh, I need to get my baby photographed. Because when they look at their baby, it doesn't matter how much it costs, I can tell you that. But they seem to price hunt more when they're pregnant because they're already spending a lot of money. But after they've given birth, really that dollar figure goes out the window, I can tell you. Okay, there's another thing that is just absolutely too beautiful here. And then obviously a blog post on another day of the week, an inspirational quote. But today it's about finding interesting content.
Something a little off topic, the background.
Oh, the blue?
The blue, is it the one that you did in the DIY? It looks lighter.
No, the one I did in the DIY video was brown. So this is just an older one I did. This canvas was made for my live newborn session, a full live newborn session that I did here in the studio.
And this one you sprayed, didn't you?
I painted with a roller, and then I used a spray gun, a paint gun, to create the different sort of textures and things like that through it, which was really cool. Okay.
Back on topic.
Baby milestones. And you know what? There's even the beautiful cards and things like that. This here is brilliant. This is an app that you could share with your clients or potential clients. Adorable photo app. It's a free install, so you can keep it updated. there's something else that could be shared. And then, you know, the different, what your baby should be doing right now. So this is where you could promote sitter sessions. You know, if your baby is around 7 months old, don't forget to come in for your sitter session. This is an incredible time to photograph your baby as their little personality really starts to explode, and you can interact obviously more with them. But sharing any of this information is going to be obviously really great. But another great tip is when you're sharing content like this, always ask a question. When you ask a question and you ask someone what their experience is or how they coped at that time, or do you know what, if you're going to share an inspirational a post on a beautiful nursery setup, ask people to share photos in the comments of that post. You may need to adjust your security settings on your page, but ask them to share photos of their baby's nursery in the comments, because the more you get them to engage with those posts, the more people are going to see those posts and see your page, and you will build your audience and your following a lot faster. All right, so I think I've been pretty... Pinterest is the place to go. There's lots of different things for you to share, obviously. Different cards, little cards that you can buy from Anthropologie.com. I mean, seriously, some of these stores just have absolute gold for you to share that could be of interest for your clients. But it's about, you know, and these little cards, I've noticed a lot of people that I know that have had babies, they take photos of their babies with these cards and things like that. So get them to share in the comments. Again, you know, how many of my followers have got cards similar to these? I'd love to see how you take photographs of your baby's different milestones using them. And it just creates engagement. That's what it's about. Don't be worried about encouraging your clients to photograph their baby. I can assure you they don't need encouraging. There will be thousands and thousands of photos on their phones, you know, every day, taking photos of every time they make a move, because they don't want to forget it. But yeah, there is lots of content for you to share. I've shared a lot of information right now, so I hope that that was beneficial for you, and it's motivated you or inspired you to start sharing more content every day. But like I said, use your planners. These social media planners are absolutely gold. This is a weekly planner, and it's broken down in the time. Dedicate an hour every day to post on Facebook. And then when we talk about every day of the week that you're going to post on Facebook, think about the different things that you can share. And if you want to be consistent, so that Sunday is products day, Monday is behind the scenes day, Tuesday is pretty pictures, Wednesday is a video, Thursday is an article and information like what we've talked about here, another person's website or Facebook post, something like that. Friday might be a blog post, and Saturday might be an inspirational quote. So when you are sharing inspirational quotes, just a little sort of reminder there, make sure that you always credit the author, and use your own stock photos if you can, just if you're out and about, pretty trees, water, things like that, photographing a beautiful little scene, taking pictures of your studio or something that's just pretty, and even a painted canvas, take a photo of that and put text over it. Just make sure that it's consistent with your branding, and make sure that every week, if you're going to post an inspirational quote once a week on whatever day that it might be, make sure that you use the same font each week, and that you are consistent with the background so that it's not too off-brand or jarring. But the way to get people to stop scrolling on social media is to share something different, which is why mixing up what you share every single day is important. Because if you just share pretty pictures every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, if you share the same pretty pictures every day, it becomes a little boring. They don't want to see the same thing every day. People stop scrolling on things that are new, things that they haven't seen before. And that's why creating a schedule and being consistent and working on the different topics, and that's just 7 ideas. Like, you can come up with your own ideas because you have your own brain, and abilities to do all of this stuff. I'm just hopefully going to motivate you and inspire you to get going with it.
So you talked about, getting organised and having a plan and that sort of thing. Now, Danielle says, I have the biggest to-do list. It's pinned to my message board and I have to stare at it from my desk. Have you got any advice, like, when you get a really big to-do list?
Oh yeah, and it is overwhelming. And then what we do is we put it off when it's overwhelming. So you know what? You sit down with your pen and piece of paper and you go, right, today, where's my daily one? Okay, here's my daily one. My eyesight is getting worse as I get older. Right, today, this is my to-do list on another piece of paper. I need to pick this up. I've got to do this shoot. I've got to be somewhere else for this. I've got to make a phone call. I've got to order that client gallery. I've got to get that photo session edited for that other client who keeps emailing me wanting to see their images. I've got to respond to such and such email. Oh my God, there's not enough hours in the day, right? So write all of those things down, and then allocate a time based on the priority of what needs to be done. And put in some alarms and reminders in your phone. So right, you know what, at 9 a.m, I need to do this. Create an alarm for 9 a.m. in your phone so it goes off and it tells you that you need to do it. At 11 a.m, you need to be somewhere, right? Set an alarm. You have all of the tools, you just have to do it. And that's the thing. When you let things build up, when you waste time scrolling social media, when you waste time doing nothing, you won't get anything done. But it all basically comes down to, what is it that you want to achieve? When you think about work-life balance, it's about prioritizing what's more important right now. And that's why write a list to start with at the beginning of the day. What is it that you need to accomplish and want to accomplish that day? Then break it down into, what is the most important thing that you cannot miss today or cannot not do today? Put that at the top of the list. Then look at it and go, right, how long is it going to take me to do that? If it's an appointment, it might only go for an hour. If it's editing a session, that might take you 2 hours. Sit down for 2 hours, create an alarm, put a timer on for 2 hours, turn off the internet on your computer, because if you're editing, you don't need the internet. But it is all about prioritizing what is most important and then allocating time to do the task. That's what it is. Right now we have the best opportunity to go back to square one and start putting some really solid business structures in place, so that when you do hit the ground running with your clients, you are consistent, you are on time, you have got a plan, you've got a schedule, and you are going to be so much more efficient and get so much more done. And trust me, you will enjoy the entire experience of running a business so much better when you're organized. The thing is, when you treat your business like a business and you go to work for your business, you go to work. It's the exact same thing as being employed by someone else. So when people contact me and they say, do you know what? I'm going to have to shut my doors. I'm not getting any bookings. I'm not getting any clients. What have you done to get those clients? Have you done the work? Because when you run a business, the only person that is responsible for the success of that business is you. No one else is going to do it for you. So you have to be responsible, whether you want to do it or not. If you're overwhelmed and you've got too much on, you know what? Maybe you need to restructure your business. Maybe you're taking on too much. Maybe you've got to learn to say no to a few things. Maybe you're shooting too much. Do less clients. Well, if you've got to do less clients, you might need to charge more so that you're still earning the same amount of money. I'm being a little bossy right now, so it's probably time for me to go.
And if we can keep this under 1 hour, I can put it onto IGTV.
Yay, fantastic. Do you know what? I'm loving everyone's comments and everything coming through. Thank you so much for joining me today. I've given you some great ideas of what to look up and what to post and share on your Facebook pages. But remember, the most important thing about it is consistency and sharing content that's relevant and that is going to be of interest for the people that follow your page. The people that follow your page need to be your target market. People who matter to your business, not other photographers. So always remember that. Good kick in the bum, Kelly. Oh, you're welcome. I honestly didn't start out today with this as a priority or an intention, but I'm glad we went there, because do you know what? I right now am actually busier than I have been in a very long time, because I am creating content like you should be every day. I'm creating content to share with you. So I've got to plan, I've got to organize, and I've got to do other things as well. So I'm working right now harder than I've ever worked before to keep a level of engagement. We have a large group, and you know what? I want to share this message with as many of you as I possibly can. So consistency is key. So I want you to do the same thing for your clients, but think about who they are and what is it that they need right now. What are their needs? What are their interests? And you will create engaging content. I swear by it. Is the calendar available? The social media planner is available on newbornposing.com, but right now, for around 24 hours, the site is closed whilst it's having a very, very amazing facelift. And I can reassure you, I want you in the next, in another 24 hours, I want you to go and have a look at newbornposing.com, because it is absolutely beautiful. So right now, whilst we're transferring everything from one website to the next to make sure everything is working before we let it go live, I want you to go and have a look at it, and then I want you to give me some feedback, which should be awesome. I'm very excited. I actually feel like a small school child. So yeah, but I'm going to go. And thank you again. Please stay safe, and I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is Wednesday. Michelle Kenner, who works with us here at Newborn Posing, she is joining me live. We're going to talk all about file storage, file management, so that it makes it easier for you to go and find all of your previous work. So yeah, have a great day, everyone. I'll speak to you soon.